The Kingdom of My Divine Will in the Midst of Creatures. Book of Heaven, Volume 34, Part 11. March 26, 1937. The creation and the humanity of our Lord are the fields in which one who lives in the divine will carries out her acts. How the divine will forms the humanity of our Lord and paradise on earth for Jesus. My flight in the divine Fiat continues, and in it I feel that everything is mine, and I feel the need to know, to love what belongs to me, and was given to me with such great love. And while I was going around in the works of the divine volition, my dear Jesus, my sweet life, repeating his short little visit, all goodness told me, my little daughter of my divine volition, how true it is that in order for love to arise, one must possess what one loves. If one does not possess, love does not arise. Not to love what one possesses is almost impossible. It is only natural and just for a love to love what it possesses. This is why I so much love the creatures. I preserve them. I give them life, because they are my works. I created them. I issued them to daylight. They are mine. I am the heartbeat of their heartbeat, their breath, the life of their life. I cannot help loving them. If I did not love them, my love would give me continuous reproaches and say to me, "Why did you create them, since you would not love them?" This is a right of love, to love what it possesses. My justice would condemn me. All of my attributes would wage war against me. This is why, in order to be loved by creatures, I say, I am your God, your Creator, your Celestial Father. I am all yours, as indeed I am. And this is also the reason why I say to one who wants to live in my will, everything is yours, the heavens, the sun, and all creation is yours. My life is yours. My pains and even my breath are yours. Here is why, then, you feel the need to love, just as I feel it. To love what is yours, that which your Jesus gave you as your possession. Now you must know that the creation and my humanity are the fields in which the soul who does and lives in my divine will carries out her acts. Having them in her possession, she feels the need to circulate, like blood in the veins, within the works of her Creator. She wants to know the value, the good that they do, the office they occupy. Also, to love them more, to appreciate them, and also to feel happier and richer of the many goods she possesses. And so, now she draws near the sun in order to know the secrets of its light, the iris of its colors, the virtue of its heat, the continuous miracle it performs over the face of the earth, such that, by merely touching it with its light. It vivifies, it colors, sweetens, and transforms. And oh, how she loves the sun because it is her own, and she loves He who created it more. And she does so with all other created things. She wants to know the secret virtue they contain in order to love them more, and to be more grateful, and love more the one who gave her the possession. Therefore it is no wonder that one who lives in my divine Fiat is called the heiress of all creation. Now, from the field of creation, move on to the field of my humanity. What to tell you now, my daughter, of the wonders that take place in this live field, not of mere works, like in creation, but of life, human and divine. These souls take my place, nor can I oppose myself, because I belong to them. They have a right over me, and I am happy that they possess me, because they will love me more. Now, these creatures in this field of mine repeat my life, love with my same love. Their acts, fused with mine, form many suns, heavens, and stars. Oh, how much more beautiful than those of creation, as they fill the field of my humanity. Oh, how loved and glorified I feel, because these suns, heavens, and stars are not mute like those of creation, but they are speaking with fullness of reason. And how well they speak of my love. They speak and love me. They speak and narrate to me the story of souls and that of my love. And so they impose themselves on me to have me place them in safety. They speak and cover themselves with my pains in order to repeat my life. And I feel these souls flowing in my tears, in my words, in my works and steps. And in them I find refreshment from my pains, my prop, my defense, my refuge. And my love for them is so great that I reach the point of calling them my life. Oh, how I love them! I possess them, and they possess me. To possess and to love unto folly is all the same. Now, these souls who live in my will are disposed to receive all the pains of my humanity. In fact, since my humanity is incapable of suffering, as it is now glorious in heaven, with its omnipotent breath, my will creates the pains and sorrows, and forms in them my living humanity, as they stand in for me in everything. They are the new saviors that lay down their lives in order to save the entire world. So, from heaven, I look at the earth, and I find as many Jesuses, who, taken by the same folly of my love, lay down their lives at the cost of pains and death to say to me, I am your faithful copy. The pains make me smile, because I enclose souls. And I, oh, how I love them! I no longer feel lonely. I feel happy, victorious, because having company in carrying out the same life, in suffering the same pains, in wanting what I want, is my greatest happiness and my paradise on earth. See then how many great and portentous things can my divine will do, as long as they live in it. It forms for me my very living humanity, and procures for me the same joys of my celestial fatherland. Therefore, take to heart, living always in my will, be concerned with nothing else, because if you do not, I feel my love broken in you. And if you knew how much it costs me not being loved, be it even for one moment. In fact, in that moment, I remain alone. You break my happiness. And in my delirium of love, I keep repeating, how can this be? I love her always, and she doesn't. Therefore, be attentive, for I never want to remain alone. Fiat. April 4th, 1937. As the creature gives her will to God, so does God acquire his divine rights over it. How 3 walls of fortitude are formed, so as not to let her get out from within the fiat. I am under the eternal waves of the divine volition, and if a thought escapes me, these waves become stronger and suffocate my thought and my fears in such a way that I am immediately pacified, and I run together with the divine fiat. So my thought often torments me that I might be getting out from within it. My God, what pain! I feel myself dying at the mere thought of it. It seems to me that I would no longer be the sister of the created things. I would move my place away from their midst. They would no longer be mine. And I? What would I then give to my God? Nothing but pure nothing would be left to me. I felt so bad in thinking of this that I felt tortured. And my sweet Jesus, having compassion on me, and on the state to which I had reduced myself, ran to sustain me in his arms, and all goodness told me, "My daughter, what are you doing? Courage! You oppress yourself too much, and your Jesus does not want this. And besides, the very pain you feel means that you do not want to get out of my divine will. And to me, your will is enough. It is the surest pledge, and I keep it enclosed in my divine heart as the most precious thing, so that nobody may touch it. The feeling of the creature I take into no account. It is as if it did not exist for me, and many times it serves her in order to throw herself into my arms, that I may free her of this enemy that makes her lose peace. Now, you must know that when the soul has given me her will with firm decision, and with sure knowledge of what she has done, without ever wanting to know it again, she has already taken her place in mine, and I, by right, am the owner of her will, and she is the owner of mine. So, do you think that I easily surrender these rights? Not at all. I will use all arts. I will put in the field my own power, so that what interests me so much may not be taken away from me. You must know that this is the strongest bond between Creator and creature, her surrendering her will. In this way she becomes inseparable from us, as to no longer be able to detach herself. We feel her life as our own, because one is the will that animates us. Now, do you think that with one thought, with one feeling, these bonds can be broken, our inseparability lost, and we would surrender what is ours, without any resolute and repeated acts on her part, that she wants her will back? My daughter, you deceive yourself. More so, since our love for her is so great, that as soon as she gives us her will, we wall the creature up, first with a wall of light, in such a way that if she wanted to get out, the light eclipses her, and she does not know where to move her step, because she finds light everywhere. And not knowing where to go, she draws back and hides in the bosom of her Creator. The second wall is everything that my humanity did while on earth. My tears, my works, steps, and words, my pains, my wounds, my blood, form a wall around this happy creature to prevent her exit. In fact, my humanity contains the secret, the strength, the life, in order to give life to one who lives in the divine volition. And do you think that after having obtained the intent of conquering this will by dint of pains, I would let what costs me blood, life, and death escape from me? Ah, you have not yet understood my love well. If it was about mere resignation, it is easy to do and not to do my will, because these creatures have never really surrendered their rights to me. They keep holding on to their will, and therefore now they are resigned, now impatient, now they love heaven, now the earth. But for one who has given me her will, she has taken her place in the divine order. She wants and does what we want. She feels herself queen. Therefore it is almost impossible for her to get out of our fiat, nor would she adapt herself to becoming a servant, a slave, if she went out of our will. The third wall is the whole creation, which feels in her the operating virtue of the divine volition, whose life all created things possess. And in order to pay her homage, they form a wall around her. The sun with its light, the wind with its might. In sum, all created things feel the creative power, the operating virtue, ever new, that operates in the creature, while they cannot do more than what they are doing. So they run around her to enjoy the works of that fiat by which they are animated. Therefore, don't you worry. Enjoy the peace of that will that possesses you, and your Jesus will take care of everything. Fiat. April 8th, 1937. Everything that is done in the divine will constitutes a right for all, and all can do that good. These rights were given by Adam, by the Queen of Heaven, by our Lord, who prepared for us the royal garment. My poor mind does nothing other than plunge itself into the sea of the supreme Fiat. And as much as I feel in me the heaven of the divine volition, many times I lose sight of Jesus within the immensity of this heaven, and I do not find him. And his privation is the hardest martyrdom of my poor existence down here. And how hard it is to find him, to the point of reducing myself to such a pitiful state that I feel I am dying. And only then does he come, either with a stratagem of love or with a more surprising truth, such that I feel life come back to me, to the point of forgetting of the pain suffered. Ah, Jesus, how much you can come up with! So I was thinking, and why doesn't Jesus take me into his celestial regions? Why let me struggle so much? I seem to see the harbor, and I am about to take a leap to get in. But no, a powerful force makes me draw back, and I return to be the poor exiled one. And then, while I was thinking this, my sweet Jesus, all goodness, compassionating me, told me, "My blessed daughter, courage. Courage knocks down the strongest bastions, defeats the fiercest armies, debilitates our power, or rather, it appropriates it, and, courageous, the soul wins what she wants." And we, in seeing that she does not have the slightest doubt to obtain what she wants, because doubt decreases courage, we give her more than what she wants. My daughter, courage, trust, insistence, without ever ceasing, love, in our will, are the weapons that wound us, such that debilitating us, we let her take by herself whatever she wants. Now I want to tell you why I am still keeping you on this earth. You know that our divine will is immense, and the creature lacks the capacity, the space, to be able to embrace it altogether. Therefore, it is more suitable for her to take it sip by sip. And you take them now when you do your acts in my volition. Now, when it manifests to you a truth that belongs to it. If you pray, if you desire for my kingdom to come, if you suffer in order to obtain it, these are all sips that expand your capacity and form the space in which to enclose the sips of it. And while you do this, you come to enclose, now one generation, now another, which must possess the kingdom of the divine Fiat. Now, you must know that since the generations are like one family, such that all have the right to the inheritance of the Father, and, like members, they form one single body, of which I am the head. When a member does some good, obtains it, and possesses it, the other members acquire the right to do and to possess that good. Now, you have not yet enclosed all those generations that must possess my will as life. Therefore, more is needed of the chain of your acts, of your insistence, your pains, so as to drink more sips, in order to form the space, to give the right to those who, wanting it so, might possess my kingdom. As soon as you have done the last act that is needed, immediately I will take you into the celestial fatherland. Now, my daughter, with its immensity, my divine will envelops everyone and everything. There is not one being that does not swim in it. Therefore, everything that is done becomes a right of all, and all can repeat that act. At the most, there might be some who do not want to repeat it and possess it, and do not want to recognize that they live within it, and their lives are animated by the divine fiat. These are like the blind, who, while the sun darts through them, can see nothing, and lie there as if it were night time for them. They are as though paralyzed, such that, while they can receive the use of their limbs in order to do good, they content themselves with remaining immobilized. They are like the mute, who cannot talk, but voluntary blind, paralytics, and mute. As for all the rest, since my will is life, and is in communication with all, everything that can be done in it is life and good and right of all, and all can repeat that act in order to form the life of the divine will operating in them. The first rights to have the kingdom of my will possessed by the human generations were given by Adam, because during the first period of his life, his acts were done in the divine will. And even though he sinned and lost voluntarily the operating life of the divine will within himself, and he in us, however, his acts remained, because what is done in our volition never gets out. Those are our gains, our victories over the human will. Therefore they are our own, and we never put out what is ours. So, one who enters into it finds the first love of Adam, his first acts, which give her the right to possess our fiat, and to repeat the same acts that he did. In fact, his acts are still speaking. His love is still fused within ours, and loves us incessantly with our own love. Therefore, the operating in our divine will becomes eternal with us, and is not subject to ending, and it places itself at everyone's disposal, in such a way that only one who is ungrateful does not take it, and does not want to avail himself of the life in order to receive life. These rights to possess my will as life were given by the Queen of Heaven, because she too was of human offspring, but in a more extensive way, and with greater sacrifice, because it cost her the life of her very Son and God to give the possession of the kingdom of our fiat to the human generations. And because it cost her so much, she is the one who longs and prays the most that her children may enter into this kingdom so holy. Then came my descent from heaven to earth. As I took on human flesh, Each act of mine, pain, prayer, tear, sigh, work, and step, constituted a right to let the kingdom of the Fiat be possessed by the human generations. I can say, my humanity is yours and belongs to all, and whoever wants to enter into this kingdom will find in it the door, the rights, and the royal garment in order to get in. My humanity is the garment that must cover and clothe with decency all those who will possess it. My love is so great that I call other creatures, and with portentous graces, and with the sacrifice of their lives, I let them live in my will, and they constitute the new rights, laying down their lives in order to give the possession of my kingdom to the human family. Therefore, let your will run always in mine, so that, once your acts are complete, you may take flight to the celestial fatherland. Fiat. You have reached the end of the Book of Heaven, Volume 34, Part 11. Fiat.